Welcome to the program. Today, we are humbled to speak to the president of the Uganda Journalists Union, Lucy Ekadu. She's going to be explaining to us about gender equity and the safety of journalists in Uganda. I'm Ashaba. You're watching The Shift.
Journalism in Uganda has grown to be a very competitive occupation, with many females joining media today. But when we talk about safety and equity of female journalists, a lot ponders in our minds. The State Minister for Works, Honorable Charles Bakabulindi, gives us his thoughts on this.
To know their rights, be exposed to interact with others, so that they can know while they are performing their duty as journalists, what are they supposed to do and what are they not supposed to do, and how do they protect themselves. There is progress in as far as women are concerned in being involved in the media, but still something more is lacking. And I think this is also attributed to lack of sensitization. First and foremost, it is looked at as a risky job for men in case of any harassment or turbulence or something of that nature. But if these people are sensitized, they know that all equally, if they know how to protect themselves, they will all come on board, because it's another way of employment.
Speaking to Lucy Ekadu, we get to the details of this issue.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Caroline.
Now, briefly, who is Lucy Ekadu before we proceed?
Hey. Wow. Lucy Ekadu is a journalist by profession, and right now full-time with the union, Uganda Journalists Union. As you have rightly put it, I have a responsibility because I'm heading the union. In our structures, they call us presidents, but really you can call me chairperson. Oh, yes.
President sounds good title.
Thank you very much. Lucy is very passionate about gender issues, especially when it comes to the female journalists. However, gender is about men and women. So anytime we address the issue, we do have to mainstream the women and the men, so that it is a balanced setting and scenario. I have been in the media industry for over 10 years now. Yeah,
but quite an experience.
It is. And in 2014, I decided I needed a judgment call, and I decided I'm going to do full-time union work and see if I can give back to my industry. I hail from a district called Kabaremaido in Uganda. I'm very sure you do not know. I need to take you there. Yeah, it's in the east. Sure. After Soroti district, it is Kabaremaido district. So it's a long drive from Kampala, but right. So the tribe it's the Kumams who live there.
Okay, so yeah. A Kumam?
Yes, I am a Kumam by tribe. I am a firstborn to a family of 5 with 4 girls and 1 boy.
Of Uganda Journalists Union, and having been in the media for over 10 years, like you say, how would you assess the state of women in media today?
I believe that looking back, we've come a long way. The liberalization of the airspace, I think, did a very big role in encouraging journalists. And I also believe that the liberalization of the airwaves also came with a 1.5, as you're aware. Yeah. And now the 1.5 is feasible because we're really matching up. But back then, it really did pay a big deal. Yes, it did really pay a role. The time I joined MassCom, you find like maybe 20 people have been admitted to the course and stuff like that. But we've come a long way, and we've had the stereotype and the cliche issues like women breaking the glass ceiling, which is a big challenge, because being in a position to influence policy and power is not easy. If I asked you how many women, maybe managers, you just drop them off the hook like this because they are far and wide in between. You talk about Barbara Kaiser, you talk about Maria Chiwanika, you will pick them up very fast because we are still grappling with the issues. Yeah, and we have the issues of, say, women have to run your home, run your life, run your profession, and the day-to-day setbacks of culture, religion, and let me say the existing impediments. For example, you can find that if I am to choose, maybe I want to send between Caroline and James, who is going to cover this war story in the north. Very rarely, yeah, you will just say, I think James is a man, he'll manage, you understand? Look at your press jackets. They're all designed, they're masculine. You just have to wear it because, that's the way it is. It's a safety issue. But these are things that are underlying that you need to start thinking about. Then, of course, we have the issue of value added, We have that challenge personally as female journalists because once you come in the field, it's all systems go. But you see, education is a very important equalizer, and it's something that is glaring us in the face in the industry. You have to add value to yourself. When you get 1 degree, that is good. It's not good enough. Yeah. So when your colleagues, they are braving, maybe after 5, someone is going for an evening lecture. You're rushing home. They have this, but that is something we cannot run away from. We have to add value to a challenge that we have because the victim card is not working anymore. You cannot say because I'm a woman, because of ABCD, I am not being treated ABCD. You have to find a way around the problem, and one of them is adding value to ourselves as female journalists. We have to get that equalizer, get the papers so that if it is talking about bread and butter, if it's talking about an equal opportunity, it's easy to say, okay, my papers weigh on the scale. Caroline and James, we are on the same page, so what is the problem? The challenge we have with social media is it's unregulated. That's one. And you find that someone can hide behind a computer and create a character that is not even theirs, a mystical character, and go by that name. And cyber stalking, especially for women, is very traumatizing, but increasingly it's there. Someone just stalks you on cyber. They post things on your page. They post obscenities on your page. And then most times you find them saying, guys, there's this going on my page, I'm sorry, ignore it, and doing that. And like you have said, I think women are getting the bigger bashing on cyberspace than the men. And we've had a few trainings sponsored by especially CPESA, where they have tried to talk about the cyber training, because there are ways that you can mitigate, maybe not solve the problem, but if you know how to use the settings, the Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, and Instagram, Snapchat, whatever, if you can know how to work on the settings. Like personally, on all my pages, I do not admit a stranger. If I don't know you, I don't know you. It doesn't matter how many friend requests you will send. And I put the settings, like if a picture or a video is being sent on my page, it cannot download unless I have accepted and or given the command. So there are ways that people, especially the ladies, need to be trained on this. And
and maybe before you go any further, how has been your experience like over these 10 years in media or as a journalist?
The journalism industry is very interesting because it's dynamic. It moves with the dynamics in society. It's not a stagnating industry where you have a hard and fast rule to A, B, C, D. It's something if today, for example, when we started, you didn't have the Uganda Broadcasting Corporation. No. But now today you have the radio, you have the TV, and you have basically the print and electronic merged, and we have the conglomerates coming up, and those are the dynamics in the industry. One journalist can give you a print story and an electronic story. It can do an all-round story, which hasn't been the case. Of course, it has its upside and its downside, because back then you'd need maybe 3 or 4 people to do your story, but then you can just be with your cameraman, and then you can capture like all the stories that you need, and you're good to go. But then that means that there are other people who have been rendered redundant or something like that. But also we have increased as women in the industry, because earlier on, like I remember when I told some of my friends that I am going to do journalism, and they're like, a woman, really? Do you want to settle? Do you want to marry? Or it was looked at as really, like, to some people it was a masculine dominated field, but that also has come with a lot of the women affirmative action on women issues and on women opportunities, which has made us know that a woman can do, and an opportunity that comes for a man, if you like, you can give it, a shot, and who knows how far you'll go. And basically it is cross-sectoral, not only the media, but in the media. It has been like Uganda especially, we've made strides in the industry, and one of the, I think the biggest reasons is that I think in every media house it's a deliberate policy. The gender policy or the gender agenda is always streamlined in most of the media houses. Those are the big media houses. There are still challenges in the FM, especially the FM industries, because also the lack of the minimum wage has a very strong bearing, especially the FM industries, because then most of them work with no contract or shoddy contract. As you know, most of our media owners of the FM industry, the ones who are journalists can be counted. I think it's also an issue. But by and wide, the training opportunities have also increased a lot for the journalists, both male and female, and that has helped beef up the skills sector. Also, I have noticed that there is a lot of in-house capacity building in most of the media houses, and this is cost-effective and achievable because it's something you can just do as you do your work. Also, in the past, as you notice, like now, you cannot go and say damage jeans in parliament as a journalist. I think our face look has been kind of pimped up, which also goes a long way, because the journalist of the past was that one in his starter jeans and stuff like that. Yeah, but now, I mean, when you look at them, presentable, professional, and that is something that we cannot just say, dropped from nowhere. It's a deliberate, it's a deliberate effort. So maturity. The media industry has matured in the past, and it's interesting that also I have noticed that, I don't know, because of the nature of our job, the Gen Kasumbas are few, like people who have, the females who have persisted in the media industry. They are not, they're accountable. The men are quite a number. The graying ones, like our moving encyclopedias in the industry. But I think because of the nature of our industry, most women, after a certain time, they would rather work with the media than in the media. And we really do need that minimum wage streamline, because if you reach a point where you have to negotiate your salary between you and the employer, because we have these discrepancies. You can be doing the same job, but people have different salaries. Again, I would say it's very rampant in the FM industry, where you sit with the boss and then you agree. Sometimes you find a presenter may have a fatter paycheck than a journalist, because maybe his show brings in the money that is running the station, and maybe your story is not. And yet we know the traditional role of media is really news. My grandfather would say, turn on the radio, let's hear the news. He doesn't care DJ who or DJ what, what he wants to know is the news. So like if tomorrow we say, okay, print out your papers with your adverts and take out the news, I don't know how many people will read, Just to say, okay, UBC, just do your thing, do your music, and let's leave out the bulletins. But when it comes to the economic dynamics, the tables may flip, because especially the private sector, they need the money. So we have this is my experience, like an advertiser, if a marketeer has to go and seal a deal, and a journalist has to go and cover a story, if the person in charge has to make that judgment call, he will think, we need this money. And then let's see how to get your story. Yeah, so those are the experiences they've come. The challenge between the story and the advert, it's a big conflict that is ongoing, and it's difficult because an advertiser can impose. You can find a very, very difficult radio personality or TV, but the advertiser likes him, and they say, if you fire that guy, the deal goes.
Exactly.
Then you between a hard case and a rock. Yeah, so it becomes a little bit challenging. And
right.
so of course you have the day-to-day challenges of, I have to do this story, I don't have transport, but someone is going. Maybe the minister is going, he has a lift in his car, but you're going to cover him. There you are. What story are you bringing? Are you going to be objective? Like we always say, are you going to say, this guy, they didn't help me, this guy bought me lunch, gave me transport to and fro. So those ethical concerns.
You talked of training opportunities, and I understand as Uganda Journalists Union, you've been having some trainings.
Oh yes.
Why is it that I understand you are targeting, your theme was gender equity and safety of journalists?
Yeah.
Why that particular one?
Okay. Sometime back, let me say, I think last month, we had a training in Dakar, Senegal. Uganda Journalists Union is an affiliate of a mother body called International Federation of Journalists. The Africa arm for that body is called FAJ, Federation of African Journalists. It's based in Dakar, Senegal. So we had the Norwegian Union of Journalists and government working with Dakar to sponsor a continental trainer of trainers training, and it was on gender equity and safety of journalists, especially female journalists. So we were in Dakar for 1 week last month, and so when we came back, we were tasked with sharing the knowledge that we got with our counterparts, but tailoring it to our different settings in the continent.
Have you improved the situation of journalists today as Uganda Journalists Union amid these all challenges?
Okay. What we do always is have a training opportunity, because we believe in capacity building. And these opportunities are normally linked to the partnerships that we have. Some of them are niched, like the one we had, gender. Others are open, like, anyone can come in. So we have a lot of the capacity building opportunities for the members. And, membership comes with a responsibility. Always, if you're going to be a member in any organization, association, there is a responsibility that qualifies you to be a member. Get your membership card. Get, like at the union, you must have the IFJ card, then you have the union card. And so we have helped a number of journalists, like in capacity building.
How is the Uganda Journalists Union different from the rest of the associations? Yeah, of course, some people actually are negligent in associating themselves in these unions or associations. They say maybe there is nothing they'll get out of it or something like that.
Yeah.
They are really not okay with them. How would you encourage someone to join?
Firstly, actually, the thing about Uganda Journalists Union is, I'll not tell you, Carol, come to the union and I give you a bunch of promises, because that is normally the wrong way to address any situation, because then you're tying it to, like, I am coercing you to come and join because I'm going to give you something.
Yeah.
But this is the first, you must be a practicing journalist. That is one. And constitutionally, you should be able to earn your daily bread and butter 60% from your work that you do. And we must see your work, your bylines, or as in, you really have to be a journalist. That is one of the things that really separate us. You cannot say, I'm a journalist and maybe I'm a support staff in a media house. There are other associations that accommodate that. You can be in the journalist association but a support staff, but with Uganda Journalists, you must
You're
be
strict on that.
Yeah, you must be a practicing journalist. Rest in peace, Bale Francis. I used to call him Papa, and he knew it. And everybody, those who are close to me, also knew that. Wow, that he really is somebody. Whoa! He even trained me. Most of our trainings, we had some good people who had the good sense to know that if you have ballet in a training, it's worth everything. So yeah, there's Lucy Banya, there's Ballet Francis. Those are like my major guys within. But Christiana Manpo, yes. She is one lady I look up to, I research on a lot because she challenged me. She's a lawyer by profession, but just look at how she turned around and she did a lot. Richard Quest, the first time I saw him, it just excited me. I'm like, wow, this industry can be interesting, So he's one of those people I see. Then our very own Jeff Koinange. I appreciate him very much.
On the program, as we conclude, what advice would you give to the female journalists?
Yeah, thank you, Carol. So I would encourage my colleagues, the female journalists, get that equalizer, get the papers, add value to yourself, and open up your minds. Yeah, because it's interesting that you can have an opportunity. Like when I had an opportunity to run for the UJU president, it's like my people were thinking, how can you even think like that? Because there are certain ladies who just feel like, that one, just leave it for someone else. No, it's not for us, the ladies, and it's almost being it's being a man, Let's say now you're taking up a man's job, Anything you want to do, execute well, they say, that woman. You've had people, that woman is a man and stuff. Just open your mind. So if you're going to be a man, so what? It's okay, because biologically you're not going to do the transform unless of course you go technological. But what I'm saying is it's time to be assertive, very assertive. Put the foot on the ground. It's time for us to move, because we now have the experiences of fellow women who are doing it. So what is stopping us?
Well, you've heard it all from Lucy Ekadu, who has been a journalist for over 10 years. She has got the experience. And I think as journalists, we should also encourage ourselves or empower ourselves through joining these different unions, associations, because there is a lot to learn from them.
Far and away, the best prize that life offers is the chance to work hard at work worth doing.